What is going on, YouTube? If you're brand new to the channel, we actually picked this thing up for $6,000 and it is a 2009 Dodge Challenger SRT8. So it might be pretty hard to believe, but yes, this is a 2009 Dodge Challenger. And so we have a full playlist out of us basically buying this thing and fixing it up to where it is today. So if you've not seen any of our other videos, go check them out. But in today's video, we're going to be doing a full cost breakdown. So we're gonna be going over every single part that we added to this thing, how much we spent on everything, and showing you all the total cost. Because you know, $6,000 is an absolute steal, especially for one of these. You know, this does have the 6.1 Hemi and it is a 6-speed, so it's a pretty rare and special car. So $6,000 sounds like an absolute steal, but you'll see that it did need quite a bit of work, and then, you know, we did quite a bit of cosmetic upgrades as well. So in the end, it clearly was not $6,000. And so this is our build and giveaway number 3. You can actually get entered to win this exact car, and the deadline to enter is in a few days, so July 1st. So you literally have only a few days left to enter to win. So to enter to win, it is super simple. All you're gonna do is go ahead on over to our website, atlanticbeachcustoms.com. Every product you buy on the website will earn you entries in to win this car. So every $5 you spend in merch will earn you 1 entry in to win this thing. So go ahead on over to our website, atlanticbeachcustoms.com. You know, pick up a t-shirt, pick up a keychain. So the deadline to enter is July 1st. As soon as that day rolls around, the giveaway is closed and your shot at winning this thing is gone forever. And then July 8th is the day that the winner will be randomly drawn. So we use a third party to randomly draw one of those entry numbers. And if you have that lucky entry number that is drawn, you will take this thing home. So we'll come deliver it straight to your house. All right, so without further ado, let's go get into today's video and let's start breaking this thing down. All right, so first up, most obvious cost we'll start with is the car itself. As I've mentioned before, the winning bid for this was $6,000. So I bid $6,000 and that was what won me the car. But you know, when you're buying a car from auction, that's not the price you're gonna walk away with. So you do have to pay for fees, like auction lot fees, a bunch of garbage like that, as well as shipping, you know, taxes, all of that stuff. So $6,000 was how much I won the car for. But in all, after all the fees plus the shipping to get this car delivered to my house and get it registered in my name, the total cost came out to $8,404. All right, so I figured we'll just start up front. So very first thing we did was get the full wide body kit. So that came with the front bumper, the bottom front lip right there, all of the grille pieces. It also came with all of the wide body fender flares. So it came with all of the fronts, all of the rears as well. And so I ended up paying this much for that full wide body kit, which I think is a pretty good deal. So then going along with the front as well, we got the Demon style hood right here, which I absolutely love. I think it's one of the coolest additions in my opinion. So we got this thing from eBay, which I know is really hit or miss. You know, when you're buying aftermarket body kits, you could either score big, you know, get something that's a little bit cheaper and super good quality, or sometimes it's just total junk. So Demon hood was $783. You know, the fitment was super good, especially with the little hood insert right there as well. So really pleased with that Demon style hood. All right, and then we got the RGB headlights. These are the updated style as well. So you can see it does have the air inlet on that one. And then it came with the daytime running lights, which you can change to pretty much any color, which is one of my favorite features. So the headlights, I spent $348 on the set for both of those. And then also up front, I got this SRT grill logo. So this is an RGB light as well. So same thing, you can cycle through all sorts of different colors, different modes. I ended up spending $172 on that thing. So as you can see, you know, the things I just went over really did make a huge difference. Switching out the hood with the Demon style, getting the new headlights, the new front bumper, you know, that grill logo, and then the wide body flares. All of those things already make a huge difference for the look of the car. And then the wrap. So this car is wrapped in cheetah wrap satin black with satin blue aluminum racing stripes. So I spent $525 on the black. So I got 75 feet, cost $525. And then I got 25 feet of the satin blue aluminum stripes for about $200. And then coming along over on the side, really the only thing we have are the wide body wheels. So these are the factory spec wide body wheels. They are replicas. The full set, all 4 wheels and tires, cost me $1,800. So $1,800 for this full set, all of the wheels and everything. And then coming around the back, got this roof spoiler right here, finished in gloss black. So I spent $58 for this roof spoiler. And then we got the red eye style spoiler as well back here, and I spent $105 on this. All right, and then the rest of the stuff back here, I just got a little SRT logo I added. That was about $10, I believe, off of Amazon. I did switch out the taillights. So I got the updated style taillights. These ones are a little bit pricey. So these cost me $519. So pretty pricey for some lights, but you know, it completed the look. And then I added the little rear diffuser fins down there. Those were $63. Just got those off of eBay. And so that is pretty much it exterior wise. So once again, got the Demon style hood, updated headlights, SRT logo, Hellcat front bumper with all of the wide body flares. Then we got the factory wide body wheels and tires. And then we got the roof spoiler up there, the red eye style trunk spoiler, and the rear diffuser fins. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. First thing we got is the carbon fiber steering wheel. One of my absolute favorite additions for the interior. Totally transforms it, and it just makes driving all that more fun, especially with it being a 6-speed. You know, having a really cool flat bottom steering wheel that, you know, you can really grip onto really just makes for a super fun driving experience. So I spent $612 on this thing. And then the Starlight headliner, I spent $51 on that kit. And then, you know, it's really just a bunch of labor. So $51 for the Starlight headliner. I got the ambient lighting for $25, so got a pretty good deal on that. That's what's cool is, you know, with these interior mods, you can get most of the stuff pretty cheap. Another thing we did with the interior was we got these updated floor mats. So they are the full coverage ones. They go all the way on the back and the front, which I really like. So I spent $107 on the full set for all 3 pieces of those floor mats. And then I did swap out the bulbs up here for LEDs. I spent $10 on those. You know, we got the dash cam. We got that from our sponsor for free, so didn't pay anything for that, but this will be coming with the cars. So whoever wins this thing, you're gonna get this dash cam setup, which is insane. Huge shout out once again to Viofo. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the interior. You know, it's in super good shape. All of the seats are in really good shape, as well as the door cards. So there really wasn't a whole lot to do to the interior. You know, I kind of wanted to leave it as OEM plus as possible, but I think the few things like the headliner, the ambient lighting, the new steering wheel, you know, really do just freshen up and kind of spice up that interior a little bit. So that pretty much wraps up the entire exterior, the entire interior. And now let's take a look inside the engine bay a little bit. So I do still have to give this thing a good little detail. We'll get that cleaned up before we send this home to one of you. But one of the biggest costs and hurdles with this build was the engine replacement. So when we bought this thing, you know, it was in immaculate shape, interior-wise, exterior-wise, but it did not run. And come to find out, the motor was pretty much toast, so we had to go through and source a replacement one. So I found a replacement 6.1 engine on Facebook Marketplace, and that cost $3,400 for the motor. But then, you know, from that, we had to get the clutch alignment tool, which cost $6, Melling water pump, $77, Molly head gasket set, $300, head bolt kit, $30, oil filter, $15, oil, $80, timing cover gasket, $33, timing chain kit, $62, oil pan gasket, $75, coil pack bolts, $62, and we did get some new spark plugs for about $140. $3,400 for the motor itself, but then, you know, there were a bunch of little miscellaneous costs to swap it out, and then I did pay my friends Rob and Tyler who helped out with that swap as well, so I had a little bit of labor there. And then, you know, there's a bunch of new fluids, so new coolant, we got a new serpentine belt, some new headlights, so we have a bunch of little small miscellaneous things like that. So that brings our rough estimated cost for this entire build out to about $20,871, which I think is not too bad. So let me know down below in the comments what you think. The previous owner bought this thing from Carvana for, I think, about almost $30,000. He had the paperwork still in the trunk and we got it from auction. So he bought this thing from Carvana about a year ago for 30,000 bucks. I got it, you know, did all this work to it to make it pretty much look like a brand new wide body Challenger. So I think it's a pretty good deal. $20,000 all in. And so when you look at the cost of these Challengers, even just the RTs, so not even talking about the SRT8 trims, the Scat Packs, all of those, even just the normal RT Challengers from this year are still selling for about 15,000 bucks. So I got this SRT8 trim with everything you see here, the wide body wheels, the wide body kit, the updated lights, you know, everything that we just went over. I spent $20,000 in total for this thing. I think that's a pretty big score. So let me know down below in the comments what you all think. Is that about how much you were expecting? Is it more? Is it less? Is it worth it for this? I would say it's worth every dollar, honestly. You know, $20,000 for this car is unbelievable. It looks super striking. You know, it looks like a brand new Challenger. It looks like a brand new Demon, and the interior is in super good shape and it drives phenomenal. You know, that 6-speed with the 6.1 really just makes for such a cool driving experience. And it's crazy, you know, I spent a little bit over $20,000 building this thing to get it where it is now, and one of you could win this thing for a couple dollars. So that is what is so much fun about this channel. You know, you guys get to watch these cars come to life, you get to watch them get rebuilt, and then they get sent home to one of you. And you know, you could literally win this thing for $5. Our previous 2 winners each spent less than $200 and they won a car like this. So even still, could you imagine spending $200 and then winning this car. You know, we just show up, hand the keys over to you, sign over the title, and then this thing's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. So make sure you go enter into that giveaway. So what do you think of this thing?
I think honestly it's perfected. I mean, like Brandon was saying, I think it's so cool. He's put in $20,000. He's got it to look the way it does, and you guys could win it for just a couple of dollars.
That's pretty cool.
I think it's so worth it. Go try your luck, because you never know. Just for a couple dollars,
you never know.
You might win this thing.
What's your favorite upgrade to the car, do you think?
My favorite upgrade would have to be the hood.
Really?
I feel like the Demon hood completes it. I think it looks so cool. I think it completes the whole front of the car. It makes it look like a beast. I love it.
Yeah, because you didn't really get to see the stock hood.
No,
it was just the stock SRT8 one.
Yep.
I think we had two little vents right over here on both sides, but that was it. I think that big scoop right there in the middle just looks so aggressive. So the hood, what would you say is your second favorite thing?
Ooh, second favorite thing, I'd have to go with the headlights with the SRT badge.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool. You get to change them to any color you want. Whether you want it the basic white, still looks awesome. Or you can change it to any color you want, like the SRT, flipping through colors now.
Yep.
I think it's so fun just being able to customize the look of it.
Yeah.
So time is running low. Go do your thing.
Time is running out.
This could be your car. Now I gotta walk home.
All right, you guys, this is pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. So hope you all enjoyed it. Hope it was informative, you know, kind of going over some of the costs, showing you all how much we spent to get this thing to where it's at today. So for those of you who have an older Challenger, who have a newer Challenger and are looking to do similar mods, hopefully it helped give you a little bit of an idea. So thank you all so much again for watching. Stay tuned for the full build series video. So once again, we're going to compile every single video of this thing from delivery all the way up to this one. Gonna put it into one long video. But yeah, thanks again for watching, and we'll catch y'all later.